The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences. I know we're usually talking about kids' cartoons and stuff, but there's going to be naughty language. Anyway, listener discretion is advised. This isn't a joke. People are dying.
People are dying from dicks!
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Ink and Paint Club podcast. My name is JD. Joining me, as always, is Kyle.
Yeah.
Hello, Kyle. Kyle's tired, and I don't blame him.
Kyle has to work.
Yeah,
A lot.
Matt's also here.
I am here, and I also got to work a lot. And so does JD. We all work in all the separate sectors of the world that are not closing down because people need to get shit during this COVID-19 crisis. Right. So y'all out there should be thanking us.
Yeah. Also here is my lovely wife, Melanie.
Hi, I'm a teacher and our schools are closed.
Yeah, so I do want to take a quick second just to, hope everyone out there is doing okay and, staying safe and, staying clean and stuff. Everyone's feeling the effects of this whole virus thing. Like Matt said, all four of us, our jobs are feeling the pain of it. Whether it's Mel, who's working from home now, or me, Kyle, and Matt, who kind of work in the service industry, I guess, where it's been heavy times, man. So I hope everyone just stay safe out there, and if you're gonna go shopping, leave some for the rest of everybody else. Don't be a dick.
Wash your hands. Don't touch everything. Put it back.
Yeah.
Also, check your local community centers and churches. They're always looking for donations of packed lunches for kids.
Right.
A lot of the schools closing down is affecting our little babies that don't have homes and rely on school for food.
Mm-hmm. So be good to each other. Is I think the moral of this story. But we are not going to let some virus keep us from doing our show.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
Unless one of us gets the damn virus.
Then
you know
we'll
what? If I fingers crossed got the virus, I'd still do this show because I ain't got to go anywhere to do it. So
I mean, true.
But anyway,
I was talking more death preventing being able to do the show.
You know what? If I die, I'm still coming back. I'll come back as a ghost. A
podcast specter.
If you die, I have to take on all your student loans.
You're not co-signed on any of those.
We're married. All your loans go to me. All your debts.
I'm gonna live forever. But yeah, so we are a week behind on it, but we felt like talking about Castlevania last week. But this week we are talking about Pixar's new movie Onward. What I have heard is Pixar's second in their Death trilogy that will end with Soul later this year.
Is that what they're really? Was that really a plan of theirs?
I saw someone on Twitter refer to it that
but the movie came out after Coco, so could you really call it a trilogy?
I don't think it's an intentional trilogy.
Yeah.
It's just happened to be that way. So I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really feeling this movie just based on the trailers. I thought it kind of looked kind of silly going in, but I was pleasantly surprised, I think. I don't know where I'd place it in Pixar's pantheon, but it was all right. I don't know how y'all are feeling about it.
I mean, the concept's no more sillier than like toys coming to life, or
yeah, but that's like set in the real world, I guess.
A world full of like monsters harvesting screams from children.
That's true.
Like this is just like it's like a fantasy setting, but it's also a modern setting. It's actually pretty straightforward. Like
I thought it was cute. I really liked it, and I was excited to see it from the commercials. And I knew right away as soon as they brought up a dead parent, I was like, "Well, that's it. I'm gonna cry."
Yeah,
because you knew there was gonna be.
They got a lot of people in the feels.
Yeah, I wonder how our friend Casey reacts if she's gonna see it.
Oh, yeah.
She may not want to see it.
Oh, yeah.
I really did enjoy the film though. Yeah, I'm like always in a weird spot with like Pixar films now too. I probably mentioned this before, but like the trailers like are just intriguing enough for me to want to check out the film, but they're not like the most mind blowing thing. Like they just put out a new trailer for Soul for when Onward came out, and like I felt that was I liked it better than the first trailer. I know Kyle said that he actually thought the first trailer was better because it had more mystique to it, right?
Yeah, it was very vague.
Yeah. But
I don't remember saying that at all.
I thought we were when we were at lunch the other day. I thought I recalled you saying that.
I don't even remember talking about Soul.
Oh, we talked about it momentarily. Me and Kyle hung out over the weekend.
Kyle
That's what I'm referring to.
No,
that was days ago, man. I can't be expected to remember.
Well, anyway, you said something akin to that. But back to my point was, yeah, the Pixar trailers aren't like indicative of like the quality of the actual film. I feel like that's a like pretty consistent with like other animated films though too.
Yeah,
it seems
I think
like
animated films they go for like the slapstick humor that's in the film.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's for kids. Yeah, but, sell it to the parents, I guess.
Yeah. No, I really did enjoy it though. I really did like the concept of like the fantasy setting brought into like a modern world, and I thought what they did here with that was fairly well done. I feel like maybe some areas they could have like gone a bit more full hog on some things, but you know, it's always nice to see Pixar, you know, doing like a non-sequel, you know, doing something original. They're like, you know, one of the only studios out there still doing that. So
yeah, I will give them credit for kind of getting out of their sequel rut. It's been kind of nice the last couple of movies that way.
Because like what they did, what was it? Toy Story 4, Incredibles 2, Monsters University,
Cars 3.
Cars 3. Well, okay, yeah. So
those.
Yeah, their last like 5 movies, most of them have been sequels. But
yeah, so the director of this one is Dan Scanlon, who did Monsters University, but that was like the only other feature that he's done. He has like he has a very small resume actually, but you know, just like that movie, I thought that was pretty well too. It seems like actually his resume mostly consists of working on like specifically in the animation and storyboard artist department, like working on the directed DVD sequels to Disney movies. Like he worked on Pocahontas 2, Little Mermaid 2, Hunchback 2, Tarzan 2, 101 Dalmatians 2. Yeah. But he also worked on Joseph King of Dreams. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, I like that movie a lot, actually. Yeah. I actually like that movie a lot.
Kyle, you've been kind of quiet over there. What were your kind of like general feelings coming away from this movie?
I don't like it.
Elaborate, please.
Yeah, you did hint towards that at the last review.
I thought the art style was incredibly ugly for this movie. I don't think it was very marketable at all. Yeah, I don't see selling plush toys of a fucking whiny beanpole kid or.
Although I went to the Disney store and they were selling toys of the half pants dad.
Oh,
you can buy a plush of.
You can buy half a doll.
You can buy half a doll for the full price.
Yeah, it's just whatever your kid wants. I don't know. I thought the art style was extremely ugly. I mean, I showed you guys 3 separate Cyclops characters, and if you told me they were the same character, I would believe you because they looked exactly the fucking same.
That's true.
Yeah. We've been talking a little bit the last week or two about this movie, kind of off and on. And yeah, I've kind of come around to what you've been saying about how like a lot of the background characters just kind of feel like just generated from, you know, stock parts a little bit. I definitely see what you mean about like the Cyclops characters. They all pretty much all have the same face. A lot of them are the same color.
Yeah.
So it just seems like there's a lot of the background characters are very samey.
Racist.
Now, allow me to be so bold to claim this, but I also feel that a lot of the inclusion that they did is more or less in a distraction for their awful characters.
Okay, so I want to talk about this real quick. Disney came out before this movie came out and be like, oh, or Disney or Pixar, I don't know, they're the same company. Basically saying, oh, we have our first openly gay character. And it became this whole big deal. And like some countries overseas were like banning the movie because how dare they put a gay character. It's literally one line. It is a throwaway line. Means nothing. It is never brought up again.
Yeah.
Can I just say that Paranorman beat everyone to the punch with like an openly gay character?
Yeah.
Like, and that was years ago.
Well, it's because they didn't say anything about it,
right?
And they lead you along the entire movie and don't tell you he's gay to the last second.
Right.
Yeah, but that's another thing too, is that because they kind of treat that as like a joke, and it's not like so well, because they revealed at the very end, and the whole point of them revealing that's like because Courtney is like lusting over him the whole movie. It's just like, oh, you should meet my boyfriend. Like it's literally revealed that it is absolutely used as a punchline. But like definitely what Kyle was saying about the inclusivity thing, like yeah, it just seems like it's basically just an afterthought to get like
Well, it's not only that. So I've seen a lot of people clamoring about, oh, there's a troll. He's got walking sticks and he's got a disability. Isn't that cool?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, remember the group at the beginning of the movie? His friend group, and one has crutches and stuff. I don't know.
Oh. They also showed him in like a football jacket. What the fuck?
That's awful.
Oh my god.
Well, just polio.
Anyways, the thing is, I see a lot of people going, wow, inclusivity, this is so cool. And I feel like it's a distraction for their awful character design. Because I think those characters are just awful. They're just very repelling to me. I look at them and go, ew, gross.
Yeah, I definitely kind of agree. Like the main characters themselves, like the main family, the Manticore, those designs are all fine. But yeah, literally any of the background characters, I thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that was kind of it felt like a little bit of lazy design.
Yeah, well, see, this is what I meant when I wish they kind of went like more full hog on some of this like fantasy stuff, because I feel like even like when they had like the flashback to like the ancient times when like magic was still a thing, like even the designs for the species and stuff like for that period of time felt really safe and felt really like when I think of other fantasy realms and stuff from like other series and like games, movies and stuff, they're like way more daring about like their character design and stuff. Like I definitely do agree on that particular point. I feel like for character design for Pixar for this movie, it is kind of surprising to see them. Well, I mean, it's not that surprising to see them play it safe. I wish they hadn't, is the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I felt the same way with Incredibles 2. As far as character design goes,
those extra superheroes. The other superheroes introduced in that movie, like I was really not feeling their designs because like their costumes just felt really generic.
They felt like they belong in a different universe. They didn't feel like they belonged in the same thing. They never got past the concept art stage. That's how I feel about this movie too.
Gotcha.
A lot of it didn't get past the concept art stage. It was just like, oh yeah, that's good. Roll with it.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So design-wise, I'm not sure this is one of Pixar's strongest movies. But I feel like the story is probably the main focus that a lot of people are going to be drawn to this. Because even though it is kind of set in this fantasy realm, I feel like the story is really relatable to a lot of people, and kind of mixing that fantasy and like modern aesthetic, I feel is kind of what is going to bring a lot of people in on this.
Yeah, I know that was like my favorite part of it. So I'm glad that to see it contrast was like very nice. But I just wish that they'd played more with it.
So I'm gonna say I do kind of like the kind of like quest aspect that they go on, and I kind of like the setup for it. Where you have the one brother, is voiced by Chris Pratt. He's like into D&D basically, and his entire game is like historically accurate. So anytime they need some kind of historical reference for like where they need to go next in their quest, he just has like a deck of cards. He just pulls something out of. And, like,
I thought seemed very Like it was cute for like a kids movie. It made sense, but like we were talking about the Manicore's character, and we were like, well, it's awfully convenient that the one Manicore lives a half hour from them, and then also, is she like immortal? Does she live forever? And if so, are there other immortal beings?
Are there other Manicores?
Yeah.
Is she the only one of her kind?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I had that same thought too. I was thinking like, yeah, man, this Manicore must have seen some shit if she's been living since like the days of magic and stuff. Like, I did like that her like the tavern and stuff like turned into like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Basically. Yeah, I like how she like pawns her sword. She's like, I ran into some tax trouble.
Yeah, no, honestly, the stuff with Corey and the mom. I kind of wish that there was a bit more of that in the movie too. Like, I really liked that dynamic. Laurel, that's the mom's name.
One thing I love about the mom's character, and I thought this was a really nice like throw at the end, was when she's like telling the kid, she's like, go meet your dad. She's like, we'll take care of this. And to me, I think like as a mom, she's obviously taking precedence of her kid's needs and then hers, but it's also showing that she doesn't need to see him again. She's closed that chapter in her life.
Yeah, because she's like remarried too. So
yeah.
Because maybe Kyle, I don't know if it was you and I talked about this, but it makes sense that she doesn't really need to go see her husband. It'd be probably nice for her to see it, but like she's clearly moved on because like he died. The dad died when the kids were babies still, and they're now teenagers. So clearly enough time has passed for her to have moved on.
Yeah, she basically raised him probably on her own, I would assume.
Yeah, and they don't really specify how long she's been with the centaur cop.
Yeah, I don't know.
I assume I kind of felt the relationship is maybe like a year or two in, because he does just kind of walk into their house and kind of makes himself at home kind of.
And there were a couple scenes that confused me.
Makes a fucking mess.
There were a couple scenes in the movie where they were talking about, oh yeah, your stepkids, but they weren't married yet. Like, and then at the end he has a wedding ring on, so that kind of confused me because I wasn't sure, were they already married?
Yeah, because they say stepkids, but the two sons also refer to him as mom's boyfriend.
Right. So I wasn't sure where the heck that fell.
I don't know.
And like, I don't know. I was confused by that, but whatever.
I couldn't remember if we talked about that in the group chat either, but just like how ill-equipped, even though this world is like would have pivoted from like magic to technology and stuff, like how even so in this day and age, like shit still isn't made for centaurs.
I was thinking that too. Oh, it's so funny you say that. I was like, well, I'm sure it's just a gag because he's a horse, LOL. But I was thinking that too.
That is probably a joke because he's like, oh, it's a horse in a house. Crazy shenanigans.
Also just because that particular house was built with the intention of, like not built with the centaur in mind, and so when the centaur cop enters the picture, it's like they still haven't like adjusted for
right
for accommodations and stuff. Like I thought that was a pretty funny gag, but
maybe that's his disability, is being a centaur.
Oh my god,
being a quadruped.
Yeah. It's very inclusive, this movie.
I just love how the kids are like, ew, gross. They don't like him. So it cracks me up.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a trope in like most like parents get remarried. Of course, you're not gonna like the
especially if he's a cop.
Right. Yeah, that shit sucks.
It's a fucking narc, and it doesn't help that it doesn't help that Chris Pratt's character is like constantly getting in trouble for like protesting the demolition of historical sites.
Yeah.
So it's like the cop is already kind of tired of his shit.
So how old do you think Chris Pratt is? You think he's already graduated high school?
I think he's like a year. Well,
I bet he dropped out of high school.
I think he's like a year out of high school because
I would think he's like
because 19. The mom says something like this has been the longest like skip year or something. So I think he's taking a break off between high school and college. Okay. The other guy's 16, so he's probably like sophomore, junior, and his brother's like a year out of high school. So
I really like how they did his character. I thought he was a very like real, because we all know people like that who are just like obnoxiously nice, but also obnoxiously nerdy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like It just so I found his character was very real.
And
even like the way he dressed and everything, I was just like, oh man. I feel
What'd you say, Kyle?
Said and obnoxious in general.
Yeah.
Heyo.
I wish they would have played up his metalhead part a little more.
Is he a metalhead?
I don't know.
Well, he's got like the battle vest with all the patches and stuff on it.
He's got a van with a unicorn on it. Like,
yes, I thought it was a D&D jokes.
I don't know. It struck me as like someone who blares heavy metal in his car all the time.
I think he was designed with the intent of having him voiced by Jack Black, and then they just probably busy doing Jumanji or something.
I saw someone on Twitter that just posted pictures like if this movie was made 10 years ago, he would have been voiced by Jack Black.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that you say that, I'm like, whoa.
But then thinking about that, it just makes you like, oh, they should have just done like a Brutal Legend movie.
Dude, that would have been so cool.
That'd be cool.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Get Jack Black in on this.
Shit.
Get Double Fine in on this.
I heard Jack Black's gonna retire.
What?
Yeah, I heard that. Like, because I think he wants to go focus on music again.
That makes sense.
Oh, that's fine. Oh,
like,
hey,
he wants to go work on Tenacious D again.
If he's retiring from acting to work on Tenacious D specifically, then I'm all for that because I love Tenacious D.
I've actually never listened to any of it.
It's
go listen to Go listen to Tenacious D right now. Get off the show and go listen to Tenacious D.
Bye.
I mean, this movie also kind of feels like a weird homogenization of just Disney now, because you do have Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, who are, predominantly featured in the Marvel movies, and now they're like, hey, let's get them in a Pixar movie because we probably have them under some kind of contract or something. I mean, they both do fine. I do think it's funny that Tom Holland, I hope, is not getting pigeonholed into being like these teenage characters, especially in like animated stuff, just because he has.
He's definitely getting pigeonholed.
Like, just because he has
already.
Because he's. I swear he's probably like our age, but his voice still sounds like he's 16.
He looks like a dork.
It's funny that you bring up Tom Holland and pigeons, because that was the other Spies in Disguise or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Where he basically. I was at the Disney store. And I was telling you this when I went, that I was at the Disney store, and when they were advertising Onward, there was some merch I didn't like understand the reference that obviously you had to see the movie to get. So I said something to the store clerk. I was like, what's this from? And she was like, oh, it's from Onward. And she began explaining the entire plot to me. And then it felt like she had read an entire Twitter article where she was like, isn't it so funny that Tom Holland is in this movie and then also another movie where they look exactly the same but are from two totally different companies? And
I haven't heard that one before.
I was like, I got sucked in.
I feel like that happens to you a lot, though. You give these people an inch, man.
I just wanted to know what the merch was. Because it was the brother's jacket, or it was like advertising a university or the school or something.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know.
Okay.
I love the scene in the end with the dragon.
Okay, the dragon was really cool, actually. I did like how it was created out of the debris of the school, and it had like the goofy ass, like
the goofy face. Everyone in the audience laughed. Like, we heard parents laughing, like people that we hadn't heard laugh yet.
Well, it was really funny because we went and saw this. I feel like pretty early in the evening, so we saw this the weekend it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there were a bunch of little kids there too, and there was this one little boy behind us who was like clapping at every scene.
He was like, I want to see that.
And I'm like, you go, this little 6-year-old boy.
I love going to the movie with little kids.
I
like way better.
When I went to go see this movie on Sunday, so like all the theaters are like in the process of like kind of winding down hours and stuff because of the COVID stuff. So me and my friend and his mom came along and we watched it, and we were like almost the only ones in the theater actually. But like right before the movie started, this group of like 5 or 6 people showed up, and we have the whole movie theater to ourselves, and like they sit right behind us, like. Although I do want to bring up the specific thing about the kids being in the theaters and stuff, not for this movie, but when I went to go see, what was the new Star Wars? Is the Last Skywalker Skywalker, whatever, the newest one. When I went to go see that in the theater, I ended up next to a kid who like was cooing like a pigeon the whole time.
Okay.
It was so fucking weird.
That's a new one.
Pretty weird.
No, but I was just like, hey, that's worth the price of admission right there.
Like,
Yeah.
Pigeon Boy.
I love you, Pigeon Boy.
Pigeon Boy. Oh my god. Pigeon Boy.
Oh my god.
So were the main characters elves? Were they just regular elves?
Yeah. There are no humans in this world.
Okay.
I imagine the elves are like the human stand-in, basically.
Yeah.
I wanted to say really quick that the dad in this movie I felt like looked like John Krasinski.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe too. And you know what? I was trying to figure out if he was voiced by anyone I knew because he only has like the one voice. Actually, I did want to bring this up because there's the scene in the movie where Tom Holland's character is like listening to a cassette tape of his dad's voice. No, but you know what's crazy is that's actually Drew Scanlon, the director. I think that's his name. The reason why he made the movie was based on a particular instance of his life where because his dad died really early. Yeah. And so, but he found like when he was a child, like he found a cassette tape of like his dad's voice. And that was actually the whole idea behind doing this movie.
That's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I was listening to that, the voice on the cassette, it doesn't turn out to be anyone like totally famous, but I felt like it might have been Bill Hader. Like I was wrong, but yeah, as far as like the actual design of the dad, yeah, I could definitely see John Krasinski in him,
especially nowadays when he's got full beard.
Yeah, totally.
I will say I do like how they handle the whole dead parent thing and like having the opportunity to reunite with them. I honestly I've had to really kind of come back and forth on this. I think I kind of like the twist at the end where Tom Holland's character is not the one that gets to meet the dad.
Oh man, that tripped me out. I was not expecting that.
I liked it because earlier in the movie the brothers are talking and Chris Pratt is all like, I have this other memory with dad, but it's a bad one because when he was in the hospital, he didn't go in to like say goodbye. And I thought it was kind of nice that that Tom Holland's like, you know what, you should be the one to go see dad and tell him goodbye.
I think that was such an important sequence for children because here they're watching this funny animated film, and then the main character, who throughout the whole film has been just this solid rock character and of optimism, talks about how hard it was for him to see his parent in a hospital all hooked up to machines, which a lot of people I'm sure face, with like cancer and stuff. I'm sure a lot of kids go through that. And so I think it was a really, important scene for audiences to. And
I like that it even kind of informs his character a little bit. Because he said like, because he feels so ashamed of, how he handled that situation and like informed how he handled the rest of his life of like, I like actively not wanting, not being afraid of things, like, kind of taking life, like charging ahead on that kind of stuff. So,
and that I think for it in real life for a child would be a really traumatic situation.
Oh, for sure.
And would cause guilt for your whole life. So I thought they handled that really well. And so, when Tom Holland is like, I never had dad, but I had you. So for him, he was kind of like, this piece I was missing, I thought I was missing, I actually had. But you had dad and then lost him. So you should go get to say goodbye.
Yeah, finally he should, like the Chris Pratt should get the closure because he's the one that really needs it.
And I cried like a baby. I was trying so hard to hold in my sob sounds. I was like holding my breath because I was like,
but yeah, I thought it was kind of a sweet twist where he's like, I didn't have a dad, but I did have a brother that like, helped me grow up and
so sweet.
Be there when you needed it. So I do like the brothers' relationship.
No, the dynamic there is very nice, and I did like the how they approach the ending too. Like Pixar is really good about the sentimental stuff. Getting an emotional
That's
reaction
why I was
and
saying the first time I saw the commercial, I knew it. I was like, God damn, Pixar's gonna do it again. It's like, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
So
did you cry at Toy Story 4?
No, Toy Story 4 was stupid as shit.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
I cried like a freaking waterfall at Toy Story 3, though.
Well, everybody did.
Yeah, because we thought that was the actual ending.
Did you cry at Coco?
Yes. Oh my god. Yes.
At the end with the grandma.
Oh my god. Well, because I love my grandparents, so for me that was
I know.
Old people. And then I have daddy issues, so of course with the dad stuff in this movie, I was like, oh, dad. And so I'm just a softie.
Coco got me pretty good too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, that whole bit where he sings to his grandma.
Well,
that's
sad. And it falls silent, and all it is just him singing, and there's like no background noise, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I honestly wonder what it would be like if Pixar just made a straight up drama. Obviously, couldn't market that to kids, but like kind of cut out the goofy slapstick stuff and just did a straight up drama movie. I would honestly wonder what that'd be like.
I think that about a lot of animated films geared towards children. I feel like, because artists are making these movies and they're grown-ups, and I feel like if they had the freedom to just express themselves like raw, I always wonder what kind of masterpieces they could make.
Yeah, but we got to make that Disney money.
Yeah.
So
the voice actor for the dad was Kyle Bornheimer.
I don't know.
Which I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Some guy.
So.
Although it's funny bringing up making the Disney money, because man, that couldn't have been a worse time to have this movie released in theaters. I think this is like it's still gonna like break even and stuff, but because people aren't going out to the theater and watching it and stuff, I think this is like a pretty low grossing movie for Disney standards.
I think it'll do fine because it came out like right before this whole virus stuff came out. I'm more concerned about the stuff that's not getting pushed back because a news article came out recently that Universal is basically going to be putting a lot of their movies out same day as theaters on VOD.
Yeah, like Trolls 2.
Like Trolls 2 is not going to make any money because as soon as it goes on VOD, it's going to be ripped and it's going to be shared online in high def. So it's like Trolls 2 is going to be a bomb financially.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
I liked the first one a lot.
So
no, I did too. These guys don't.
Sweet.
These guys don't want to talk about Trolls. I want to talk.
I'll talk about Trolls with you.
You know what? You guys do a Trolls review.
We'll do an episode that's just me and Mel.
I loved the first Trolls, and I cried. I cried when they were all on the pot getting ready to die.
God.
Impending doom just really hits your buttons,
makes me sad. And so, yeah, I liked it. Except I didn't like the part about Justin Timberlake's grandma dying. That was stupid.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was like, music killed my grandma.
Well, Kyle, do you have anything over there you want to say before we wrap this up?
Boy, did I not like this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Kyle is always the line of...
Kyle just has very high standards, and I respect him for that. He likes what he likes.
Kyle, what is an example of... Like, what's your favorite animated movie? What are your standards?
Oof, that's...
I'm just curious. Like,
that's a tough one. I can't even think of anything recent.
I'm just curious as to what your
actually,
are.
if you want to know those entire podcast on that like 2 years ago. I know Roger Rabbit was on there.
Yeah, but that's only half.
Yeah, but Roger Rabbit's everyone's favorite movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
an easy
people
one.
just did that movie.
Yeah, I love that movie. Everyone loves that movie.
But like fully animated.
Well, no. Let's just refer to the episode we did on the best of the decade. We talked about favorite movies there.
Suicide Shop.
What the heck is that?
It's a French movie. Kyle likes a lot of French movies.
His top 5 are basically all French movies, if I remember right.
Oh boy.
I like movies that have heart and weren't made by a fucking company to make
corporation. Yeah.
Did you like Klaus?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Because the main desire behind that movie wasn't fucking money. It was to make a fucking story.
Yeah.
I will give Kyle some credit. France really does put a lot of effort into 2D animation still, when a lot of places don't.
Like 3 French movies, like animated.
They talk to Kyle after this. Maybe he might be able to give you some suggestions on French stuff. That's not really my area of expertise.
Anyone out there got any suggestions for French animated movies we should cover on the podcast? Leave a comment below in the section below.
Triplets of Belleville.
I like that movie.
That we own, but I've never seen it.
You didn't watch that movie.
I bought that DVD.
I know, it's sitting in our basement. Mel, do you have anything you want to say before we wrap up?
I liked this movie. I thought it was very colorful. I agree some characters were super butt ugly. As far as Pixar goes, I think it's probably middle tier for me as far as where it lands high, like on the list.
We should do like a Pixar bracket.
Yeah,
That'd be
maybe
fun.
I guess it's maybe mid to high middle, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's a step up from Good Dinosaur for me.
Yeah, oh, I hate Good Dinosaur. I hated that.
Which is pretty fucking low.
I feel like I'm not nearly down on Good Dinosaur as everybody else is.
No, same here. I liked Good Dinosaur.
Like, I think the story's fine, but visually it's gorgeous.
No, it looks amazing.
I thought the story was super dark, super depressing, super boring.
You didn't like they were cowboy down or something.
Well, there you go. That's what you're talking about, having like a full drama movie. Like Good Dinosaur is probably the closest thing you'll get to
You're
it.
probably right. Well, then they had that stupid dog kid, and everyone's a dog.
The feral child.
All got to be dogs.
All animals are dogs.
And then like farmer dinosaurs. Like it's the stupidest shit.
What'd you say, Kyle?
Truly,
he was a good dinosaur.
Anyway, about Onward, I enjoyed it. I would like to rewatch it a couple more times to see how I feel about it in like the larger Pixar filmography.
Mm-hmm.
I am looking forward to Soul. So, because I mean, this will actually be the 2 Pixar movies this year, because the last time that happened was with Good Dinosaur and Inside Out, I believe.
I was saying how shocked I was how close they're coming out. Like, not even like a 6-month gap.
I think it's because Disney's still putting out that Dragon movie in November, so they gotta...
The Dragon movie we don't know anything about still?
Yeah, they haven't put a trailer out for, showing anything of, but apparently it's supposed to still come out in November.
Yeah,
so
I doubt that with this Corona shit.
Just like Bob's Burgers movie.
That is not coming out on this date either.
Dude, if Bob's Burgers comes out, they will show a trailer that 2 weeks before it comes out. They will just shovel that out there and hope no one notices.
God.
I'm looking forward to Soul, though. I'm probably gonna cry.
I was not big on... I kind of feel like I'm opposite of Kyle. I was not really big on Soul, the first trailer, but like now I'm like mildly interested with this new trailer, because I feel like it's not going to completely focus on the after realm or whatever they call it.
Well, yeah, the first trailer was so vague. I had no idea.
Well, because like I'm more interested in this like aspiring jazz piano player kind of stuff, and like the whole real world stuff, and like they showed the scene of like him basically auditioning with the band, and like that whole scenery is like really well done, and I like how it's lit and how like they're showing everybody playing and stuff. I think that looks really interesting. I was like, I just want more of that.
It's gonna be one of these movies that after I see it, I'm gonna be like, what am I doing with my life?
I need to go out there
because it's gonna be about follow your dreams, do what makes you happy, and I'm like, I can't pay the bills that way.
Yikes!
Damn it, Pixar! Quit trying to give me dreams.
Yeah, so it's gonna make me
trying to make me actualize.
It's gonna make me lay awake at night thinking, what am I doing with my life?
Oh, jeez. Well, there you go. There's our thoughts on Onward and a myriad of other things, I guess. Again, I hope everyone's doing okay with the virus thing. Just be safe out there. We'll still be here holding the light, and we'll be here for you posting new episodes. So,
and if you really need something good to watch during this time, Lion King 2 is always a good choice.
Random, but okay. We don't have Disney Plus anymore.
We gotta watch Lion King 2.
Oh. Why don't we?
Inception.
Oh God. All right, everybody. Stay safe out there, and we will catch you again next week.
Bye.
See you next week.
Discretion.
Oh my God.
Thanks for listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the show. Join our Discord to chat with us, and subscribe to our Patreon for some cool bonuses. Links are in the description. We'll see you next time.